Welcome to the President's Desk, simulcast on 96.9 FM KGPC and Peralta Television, where Laney College President Dr. President Besikof speaks with community members, colleagues, and student leaders. This program is supported by Technical Director Felicia Bridges, who co-hosts along with Laney College President Dr. President Besikof.
Pull up a chair and join me, student journalism major Randi Cross and Felicia at the President's Day for episode number 57, as we welcome Laney College mental health specialist Susan Yee, along with Wellness Center colleague Danielle Burroughs, Restoring Our Communities colleague Vincent Garrett, Laney College students Jesse and Alissa Rojas. The show airs, as always, at 2 a.m. and 2 p.m. on 96.9 FM KGPC right here in Oakland, and can be heard online anytime at kgpc969.org. The show airs each Wednesday, but can also be seen Sundays from 1 to 2 p.m. on Peralta TV. Can't catch us then? No problem. All our episodes are available anytime on demand at kgpc969.org, along with a lot of other great Peralta programming. And as always, we can be heard at the President's Desk on Apple Podcasts and iHeartRadio. Randi, I understand people might want to interact with the show. Can you tell us what they can do?
I sure can. If you want to, you can email us at laneypodcast@peralta.edu. Like us on Facebook at Laney College President's Desk Podcast, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Laney Podcast. You can also find selected interviews and content from the show on YouTube by subscribing to the Laney College President's Desk channel.
And by the way, Randi, just so you know, the content on the YouTube channel now includes our hour-long interview with you.
Yay!
There you go. So you're famous with all 12 of our followers. So it's always amazing. Anyway, I'm President Besikof.
1,200.
And by the way, I only had to pay 11 of them. So I'm President Besikof, president of Laney College, a pillar that has been serving the greater Oakland community since 1927 and has been known as Laney now for more than 65 years, and where college has been free since fall semester 2022 and will be free this coming spring semester for students who take 6 or more units. Like so many things with the President's Office, my work is the result of a great team. In addition to my all-star co-hosts Felicia and Randi, Arlene Lontock books guests for us, with Raya Zion joining as a show contributor and occasional in-studio guests. But getting things kicked off today is my co-host Felicia Bridges. Felicia, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Rudy. How are you doing?
Good. Nice to be back in studio. Although being remote last week was kind of fun, wasn't it?
That was a lot of fun. I hope we do that again pretty soon.
So, Randi, you now have 2 remote broadcasts under your belt. What do you think? Remote or being in studio, if you had to take a pick?
I love being here in studio, but when we go remote, it's fun. It's like a little field trip.
Is it because of the snack table outside?
That too.
Oh, okay. Because I know that's the reason I like being here is the cookies and the water cooler. But so we're going to be kind of steering into the holiday weekend, the Thanksgiving holiday, 4 days off. Anything big on your horizon? Looking forward to taking a break?
Yeah, just going to hang out with friends and family and then get back to it.
Yeah, there you go. Felicia, how about you?
Well, it's almost like leap year to me. And what I mean by that is that every 7 years, Thanksgiving falls on my birthday.
Oh.
Which isn't that fun. Because nobody's focusing on my birthday. It's all about the food.
Well, on behalf of all the great folks here at the President's Desk, happy birthday.
Well, thank you.
There you go. Excellent.
Thank you.
Now, I understand if it's a leap year, the years, you only count years every 4 years. Is that correct?
I'd say every 7.
Oh, okay. Every 7, even better.
I think I'm 2023. Yeah,
okay.
that'll work.
Well, that works. Excellent. All right. Well, actually, I just want to take this time right now to welcome into the studio, and we'll start with our colleagues in the Wellness Center, our Susan Yee and Danielle Burroughs. How are you both doing today?
Just fantastic. Thank you.
Excellent.
Yes, I second that.
All right. Well, Danielle, just the upcoming break, any plans for you?
Yes, I'm actually going to be doing a Friendsgiving with my friend this upcoming weekend, and then
that sounds like fun.
I'm still figuring out where I'm going to go. Like, we have a tradition in my household where we'll do different cuisines every Thanksgiving. Last year it was Korean. I don't know what yet, but I need to figure it out.
Okay, if you get a vote, what kind of food would you be voting for?
Oh, that's a good idea. I'd say maybe Caribbean,
Maybe Japanese. I kind of want to explore some cuisines, and Italian.
All right, Susan, how about you? What just as we near the holiday?
I woke up this morning thinking maybe I'll just buy a pie. Is that, like, I'm throwing in the towel.
Is there another way to get pie? Can you actually make them?
Yes, I know. I just feel like maybe it's okay to buy a pie, but my family always ends up being responsible for bringing the healthy food, so the greens and the vegetable sides. And maybe this year we'll just, I don't know, do dessert. I'll lobby for dessert.
All right. That sounds good. So as we get kind of close to the Thanksgiving holiday, how are things going in the Wellness Center? Is traffic picking up? What kind of give us a picture?
Yeah, this has been a blockbuster year for us, which is great because students are really reaching out for support. I think mental health has been destigmatized. People are talking about it freely, faculty, staff, everybody is aware of how much mental health impacts our ability to do classes, our ability to have good, fulfilling relationships. So it's great. We have a ton of demand, and we're actually in a place right now where we're at full capacity, and it's not even Thanksgiving yet.
How does the topic get broached typically when you want to bring it up? Just mental health with students or with fellow colleagues?
Yeah, so when we're talking in classrooms, we do classroom presentations to kind of orient students to what it is. I like to explain, you don't have to be quote unquote crazy, right? Things don't have to be severe. You don't want to be at a point in your emotional life where you're thinking about doing something drastic, or you are no longer able to get out of bed and go to class. You want to try to catch things earlier. So I try to explain to people, just if things don't feel right, if things are feeling a little harder than normal, if you're getting in more arguments than normal, if you're not able to do the things that you normally enjoy doing, if your sleep is disrupted, that's a huge red flag. If your sleep is not going well, then maybe it's time to try talking to a therapist.
And around this time of year, what's the most common thing that students come in and they're most concerned about around like the beginning of the holidays?
So anxiety and depression. So a lot of folks are experiencing social anxiety post-pandemic, right? And they just have the words for it, but we really just got out of practice interacting with each other. Depression is another one that really pops up over the holidays. Lack of sunlight, all of the family gatherings bring up a lot of things for people. So always those two things, but everything is connected to stuff that's happened to us in the past, right? So I think a lot of times what ends up happening over the holidays, it's the straw that broke the camel's back. It's just one more event that you have to go to, or one more family gathering that reminds you or triggers memories of things that might have happened in the past that really were hard to, and you haven't resolved yet. So it's those kinds of things that come up.
Danielle, I know just from walking around the second floor of the tower, often when I go to the elevators, I see you sitting right there, sometimes with Randi, and wave hello. How about you when it comes to broaching just topics of mental health, especially as kind of that first point of contact when people come in? What's that like?
Just like Susan said, when we do the classroom presentations, my approach is very casual, right? It's like, okay, maybe I won't say the word therapist, but I'll say everything else that describes a therapist. Like, just come talk to someone. If you don't know what that actually is, just come sit down, have some tea. Maybe it's bribing, but it works. A lot of people come in and they'll get the tea, they'll get some fruit, or they'll have something going on. They're like, all right, I think I just need to talk about this really quickly. I don't know what I need. And then we can kind of assess, well, maybe you need some more help. I have a cool team, or maybe you just need to come back and give us an update.
Not to promote food consumption or anything, but what kind of tea?
Oh, so many different kinds of tea. Chamomile, I would say, is probably like the top one. We have chamomile, we have some peach tea, we have Earl tea, breakfast.
Oh, the whole gamut.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
everything. Stress relief. I mean, calming. We have a caramel calming bedtime tea that works sometimes.
Okay, you had me at caramel. Yeah.
So, a bunch.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have probably most of my life worked in high stress situations, things that are time sensitive in the media where things have to be perfect. And but my anxiety level is pretty even because I've worked so long. I've kind of gotten used to that kind of stuff. But sometimes, particularly if I have a particular big assignment that I have to do, I feel anxiety creeping in because and when I'm sleeping, I'm doing my work. Oh. So that gives me the indication that there's a little bit of anxiety because I'm plugging in things.
You know, I'd actually like to pull our students into the conversation. I'd like to welcome in Jesse Estrada. Jesse, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here.
All right. Well, you know, you're into the semester right now. How's it going for you?
I didn't answer my question. I didn't get to ask my question. Okay, but okay.
It's a little overwhelming, you know. I'm pretty new at doing college, and taking 3 classes is overwhelming, included with full-time employment. So I'm learning to navigate all this and put it together.
Oh, okay.
But, I get a lot of help from Vince and the ROC and Susan. So I have a lot of support.
Excellent. And pleased to welcome in Vincent Garrett with Restoring Our Communities. Vince, how are things going?
Things are very busy.
Excellent. Well, what's it been like with this time of the semester, just in your office with people coming in?
It calms down during the mid-semester, so we have a few students that come in. I mean, if it was as many as we started with, we would be swamped. I wouldn't be able to be here, so
yeah.
It's kind of calming down. People are getting in the groove of going to their classes and where they're going to do their homework at and how to get on Canvas, and
right.
So they don't need as much support. Mm-hmm. So
well, I think it lends itself nicely. I know Felicia had a question as well.
What I was going to ask, basically, were what are tools that you provide to students and to someone like me who sometimes knows when anxiety rises up in our bodies? What kind of tools do you suggest that students and people like me take?
Thank you for that question. And I think the anxiety that you and I feel in high stress jobs is the same kind of anxiety that students feel, as often they're working full time, trying to be full-time students as well, family, all of that kind of stuff. So the tools that we always use in every therapy session with all of our team are mindfulness tools. So I just did this yesterday with our community support group, which is largely with our ESOL students. We were talking about family relationships and stressful family relationships coming up for the holidays. And so doing things like just taking a deep breath, noticing your breath, rubbing your hands together. So even if you guys want to do it right now, if you're feeling a little nervous, you can just do a little slow rub and just notice how your hands feel. You can feel the sensation of them getting a little warmer, or you can rub a foot on the ground and just notice the texture of the ground. But they're tools, mindfulness tools, practices, are practices that bring you to the present tense. Anxiety is about worrying about the future, right? And so you want to be able to bring your body to here and now. We're right here in this beautiful studio, all crammed in together. And
I like to think of it as being nestled in together as opposed to crammed.
It's cozy. It's cozy. So I do this myself, right? Like right now. And so even if I'm not able to go back to sleep, for example, like you, Felicia, sometimes I wake up and I'm instantly thinking about the podcast. No, I'm just kidding. Whatever it is, I put myself in the here and now as much as possible. The trick is you have to do it not when you're super stressed out. You got to practice it beforehand, right? If possible. So we always do that in therapy sessions, but encourage people to do it on their own as well.
And I just want to remind everybody that you're listening to the President's Desk on 96.9 FM. And don't forget to check us out at kgpc969.org.
Danielle, how do you get yourself into the present, to use Susan's words?
I think about Susan often. Just kidding. She's really good at that. I've seen her ground people, and I'm like, wow. Normally, every day, I put my essential oils on in the morning. I'm going for some energy, so I'm putting on the lemon and the orange and all that good stuff. When I come home, I'm like, okay, that was a stressful day. I'm going to look for some lavender, some eucalyptus. I'm going to take a bath at least twice a week. It's like embedded in my routine. Just those things with the five senses, like what can I see? I'm going to go out in nature. I'm going to hang out with my dog. Like I can feel him. He's really, really soft. So I'm just focusing on those things, like the senses. Just to keep me grounded, and I practice it daily so that when stressful situations come up, it's just not as stressful. It's like stress management techniques.
Okay, so I have to say this as a novice to oils. When you said that, I was thinking Valvoline or Pennzoil. Actually.
Oh, God. Look, I'm going to have to come back and get
You could change the oil in your car as well. If that reduces stress for you, that's not a bad thing.
I saw Vince
Something
actually
you
was
can
nodding at me that he thought the same thing possibly, but
essential oils, people.
well, actually, if you're doing that, some like, because I know we were discussing cosmetology, and I actually had to ask what a facial was. Yeah. Anyway, but if you're getting started like on oils for relaxation, getting yourself in the present, what would be a good starter oil?
Lavender. Lavender is like, I feel like the number one stress relaxation oils.
Right.
Even if you're putting it into your lotion, or you're just putting a drop into your bath, or if you have something lavender where you can hang, or a satchel of lavender, you can hang it in the closet. Not the closet, in the shower while you're taking a shower, and then the oils will actually infuse the room. So that's easy. But lavender.
I was going to say, we did discover one day in the wellness center how it smells different on different people's skin.
It does. Mm-hmm.
And even when you can put it on your skin, you can put it in your lotion, but it always smells different.
Mm-hmm.
There may be a presidential visit to the wellness center just to do some oil exploration.
Aromatherapy.
Some aromatherapy.
Yeah.
So, Susan, Danielle, if somebody were to visit your home, what might somebody see as far as like something to address stress?
So I was really just pondering this. One of the other tools that I really encourage everybody to use is connecting to people. So you wouldn't see a lot in my house. You would just see probably like dinner dishes to clean up or, something food oriented. And I think that is really the key, is to connect with other people. So, and this is what happens in a therapy session. A lot of people feel like worried when they go to talk to a therapist, like, oh, they're going to sit there and analyze me. All therapy really is paying attention to somebody, for your full undivided attention on the person who's there for help. And let me tell you, just like that bursts the dam, right? That like helps people process what's going on, because we're holding so much. And so when you're given the chance to just connect with somebody and let it out, it can be really healing. So just that process of being listened to. So that's what you would see at my house, is a mess, basically, from people coming over.
Danielle, how about you?
Okay, for me, my partner would not let me leave a mess, but if it was up to me, I would. So I'd have a fluffy pillow. I'd have LED lights. I have the essential oil machine. It's clean, right? Because sometimes my closet is my closet. I don't know. It's like my creative space. So it may not be as clean, but my overall house is, I try to help the environment and clean up as often. Because when you come into a space that's like clean and relaxed, you feel more at ease, right? You're not feeling as stressed. And I learned that from my partner, who gets stressed out with messes.
Sure.
And I'm like, I like messes sometimes. I don't know. But yeah.
Randi, I know you provide support to the Wellness Center. Could you tell our listeners a little bit more?
Yeah, so I am a mental health navigator and ambassador. So basically, I'm like a peer support type person, and I help them connect with resources that they may need, and just to be in the Wellness Center if students come in and just want to talk to a peer about what's going on.
What's something you've learned from the experience of doing this?
I think I've learned how to connect better with people, especially coming out of the pandemic when, we didn't have much face-to-face interactions. So being in the wellness center has definitely taught me how to connect with strangers more.
Excellent. All right. Great. So as we continue now during the semester, again, continuing through, and we heard from Jesse a little earlier, you know, things are starting to mount up a little bit. Are there events that the Wellness Center puts on just to kind of take students into the end of the semester?
Actually, we have one coming up at the end of the month. We're partnering with a couple people on campus, like the Undocumented Center, Roots. We're also partnering with someone outside, which is the West Oakland Health Clinic, and the Eagle's Nest, which is the Basic Needs Center. So we're basically, the Eagle's Nest will have a clothing closet, and you know, it's holiday season, it's getting kind of cool, so we'll have coats. We're gonna provide aromatherapy, so students can come get some aromatherapy and focus or whatever they're needing. But yeah, just to get people as relieved as possible, because holiday season is pretty stressful. A lot of people are reminded of their grief, so we're trying to alleviate some of that stress with doing those little things. I'm gonna have free vaccines and free flu shots that students can come take a part of. Yeah, so that's what we have going on, just to kind of alleviate that, and yeah, some tabling events.
Okay. What would be something that visitors to the Wellness Center would be surprised that you offer?
Tea.
I think people would be surprised at how cheerful we are. I feel like we're always in there laughing.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's a good one.
All right. You know what? I think this is a great time to bring Vince back into the conversation with Restoring Our Communities. First, can you just tell our listeners a little bit about what ROC is, what Restoring Our Communities is? Just 60 seconds or less.
Yes, ROC is a program for formerly incarcerated students at Laney College. So we have a space on campus where they can come and hang out. We provide resources. Well, one of them was bar tickets, but they're making them obsolete. But we have other resources, like we have computers they could print, we tutor, we help advise them, we have a counselor, we could get them connected with other programs on other campuses, like if they want to go to a 4-year, we're tapped in with Project Rebound and Underground Scholars for the UCs. We have Spark Point, Oakland, there as well.
Right, that helps it helps people become financially independent.
Yes,
it's a great
sir.
resource. Yeah.
Yeah, very good resource. And then just other, I mean, we have a connection with Roots Community Health Center and Rubicon. We have a partnership with them.
What about the connection with our colleagues in the Wellness Center?
Yeah, no, we promote, mental health wellness for our students, because, a lot of them are coming out of long-term prison commitments and have all kind of issues, from whether they had issues before going in with, being bipolar or some other type of mental health situation, or PTSD from being inside and the things that they saw. Sure. So, yeah, we definitely promote them.
Jesse, you mentioned you're taking 3 classes this semester. Tell us what are you taking and what are you interested in just down the road?
I'm taking M Latin Studies, and I'm taking music and art history. I'm also, I'm going to be taking English the next semester, but it's like how you said, I'm a formerly incarcerated person, and I did 30 years, and I just got out 3 months ago, and I'm learning to navigate all this stuff, but I get a lot of help from him and Roger and the other guys at ROC.
What's it like to go to the Restoring Our Community Center? What's the experience like of going there?
It's been great so far, and I think I hit the lottery with these guys. These guys been treating me real good. They've been helping me navigate Canvas and helping me with my schoolwork and how to prepare for, how to study better and stuff like that. But
sure.
Anytime that I need help, I come to their office and they always help me out.
That's great.
You also started an incredible resource, you and Vince. This is the reason that I was like, hey, you guys should come and hype it.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Yeah, so we just started a club, a recovery club. It was Jesse's idea, though. He brought it to our attention, and I was like, hell yeah, we need to do that. We had one before, and we didn't have much support for it. So just to have an ally and someone on campus, like organizing other students, has been really helpful.
So what's recovery club? So like recovery from
any addiction that is hindering, that's a hindrance or barrier in your life, or any stress. It doesn't necessarily have to be drugs. It could be being a workaholic or whatever addiction is causing problems in your life. We want to have something where people could come and get some support for it.
Also want to welcome to the conversation, and Felicia, I think our studios just keeps getting bigger, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't.
I want to welcome in Alissa Rojas. Alissa, how are you today?
Hello, I'm doing good. Thank you.
Excellent. Tell us a little bit about yourself as well.
Well, I am in my second year of community college. I just started coming to Laney this semester,
Welcome.
and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the opportunities that it has to offer and the rich history that I'm surrounded by.
Excellent. What are you taking this semester?
This semester is quite heavy. I've got 7 classes, but I'm enjoying
7?
them all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
21 units or?
about so.
Oh, wow. Got a favorite?
Let's see. I don't have a favorite. I love them. I'd say I love them all.
Oh, okay. Jesse, how about you? Do you have a favorite class among the 3 you're taking this semester?
I do. I love Latin, the study group that I'm doing, study class with Alicia.
What's, so far in the semester, what's something from your MLAT class that you're really kind of taking away that sticks out in your mind?
I think it's how to gotta know my culture, where I come from, and how to connect with other people. And I'm new to this, so I'm learning to learn about other people's cultures and stuff like that.
Could you tell us about something maybe that you've learned about your culture that's new, or maybe something that you got that was maybe reaffirmed to you?
That I'm no different than anybody else. We all have common interests, and we all have different views, but I think in the end, we all have like a human connection to each other, and we all relate in so many ways.
I'm real curious about the club. Like, what type of activities do you guys engage in, and what kind of support you offer one another?
Well, this is a brand new club that we're just starting, so it's getting off the ground, but we plan to offer them some assistance in how to overcome addiction, and we plan to have a space where they can feel free to speak and not be judged, because there's a stigma with substance abuse, and many students do not want to speak about it unless they feel safe, and we want to provide that. We want them to feel that we're going to foster a sense of community, and we have lived experience, and we know about substance abuse, so we feel that we are qualified to offer that help, and along with mental health.
Okay. Alissa, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, just in your involvement with club?
Yeah. So I this year made it a challenge for me to try out new things and join and be more active in my community. So Jesse, we are in the same Latin class in the Intro to Chicanx and Latin Studies here at Laney, and we were talking about the club We Will Rise, and it really caught my attention because I know that there are a lot of people out there that are suffering addictions, and there are people who need and are looking for a community, and I think that this project is something really good with a really good goal.
Yeah. No, just, really appreciate your sharing that, and want to congratulate you on the effort to do this. And also, Jesse, just, you're starting your time at Laney as a college student and having the initiative to come forward with something like this. Yeah, it's great.
And to remind all our listeners, you are listening to 96.9 KGPC. This is the President's Desk. And don't forget to check us out at kgpc969.org.
All right. Can you all stick around a little longer? This is a good conversation. I need to pay a couple bills and do a couple public service things here. But as we transition at this point in the show, I'll go ahead and remind our listeners that Laney College provides one-time support scholarships for students who face unforeseen financial difficulties that impact their ability to attend school. If you are a student experiencing difficulty, please contact Arlene Blontok in the President's Office at 510-464-3219 or email her at alontoc@peralta.edu. Also, to our employees and community members, this is just a reminder that all charitable gifts to Laney College are tax deductible and processed through the Peralta Colleges Foundation, which is a 501c3 nonprofit. To donate, again, you can call Arlene at 510-464-3219 or email her. But you know what? Often when we decide to make a gift, it is a personal thing. And if you have questions or want to discuss it, I want to invite you, our listeners, to reach out directly to me. You can call me at 510-464-3236 or send me an email at rbesikof@peralta.edu, and I'd be glad to talk to you about it. To our employees, of course, it is possible to make a one-time payment, but if you want to, maybe even just for the price every week of a cup of coffee, if you choose to make a monthly payroll deduction, that is tax deductible, and my office can, as always, provide answers to any questions you might have. So just a lot of things out there, and I will say, actually, as we get to this point in the semester, we've had a lot of students come forward with lost laptops, car failure, just emergencies, lost stolen textbooks, and things like that, and we have been able to help them out with scholarships. That's been great. So that's great. So anyway, just wanted to kind of return to our conversation. But before we do that, I want to turn to Randi in her role as with the ASLC and the Citizen and just get a check-in on things that have been happening.
Yeah, so ASLC has been going good. We had a really successful Halloween costume contest. That was a lot of fun. We're in the middle of planning some upcoming events. Nothing set in stone yet, but we will let you know.
All right, excellent. All right, so I want to turn back to Alissa and to Jesse and really kind of open the floor. Even our guests can ask questions if they want to. Please feel free. But, you know, I got to say, it's often in leadership, one of the hardest things to do is to start something. Could you take us back to the beginning and starting the We Will Rise Club and tell us the story a little bit?
Well, you know, when I was on the inside, I actually thought about starting a club. I didn't know that it was going to be with Laney, but I had the concept in my mind, and I remember reading something that said We Will Rise, and I said that would be a good topic for someone that has been going through some struggles or felt down and out, and I felt that We Will Rise, it's like it lift me up, kind of pick me up a little bit, and like the Phoenix bird, you know, you get reborn. But I brought the idea to Vince and Roger, and he has experience with starting other clubs, so I said it's a perfect opportunity for me to introduce the one I'm thinking about and kind of put our heads together and try to help out students, you know, because there's students that some of them suffer in silence and they don't speak up because, you know, there's a stigma with that. They might be seen different, but I thought that with my lived experience and my education as a substance abuse counselor, I figured that I know how to help these students. I know what it takes, and I feel like I have that.
And I don't know I know you're really new, and I don't know if you have like a membership count yet, but how many people or if you have members, how many have showed interest so far?
How many we have in the leadership?
Yeah, so far we have like I think about 9 that have signed up, and then we have 4 and now 5 with Alissa that are active, that are coming to the business meetings. We've written the Constitution. We voted in president, vice president. So yeah, we're moving.
That's fantastic. No, talk about a great start. Alissa, how about from your side, starting the club up and getting things going? What's been your involvement and your experience?
Well, I heard about this club not too long ago, but Jesse went over a couple of the goals and the aims that they were trying to the goal that they were trying to push forward, and I'm really looking forward to learning and see how I can help.
Excellent. Yeah. What have been some challenges so far with starting a new club?
Well, I've never done this before. I've done some podcasting before, but there's a challenge with starting anything new, especially probably even on campus, because trying to put all the pieces of the puzzle together, and this is where he comes in, I come in, Susan comes in, Danielle, and we're trying to get other people involved, like faculty as well, because, I think we're all on this together for the benefit of the student.
I'll go ahead and ask the question as the college president and not the co-host. Leadership at the college, what can we do to help you? And I'll go ahead and put the question to both of you.
I'd say, allowing us to promote it maybe through the Laney social media page or the district page, spreading the word. We have the help of technology. We're able now than ever to get the word around. So making use of technology, going to events, I'd say.
I was just going to say, as part of ASLC, I can definitely help you with that because I run the ASLC Instagram. So just make sure you send me all of your content and I'll post it on there.
And I also would like to say you're welcome to come here and record a PSA to get the word out about what you're doing and your activities. So you definitely have a vehicle with KGPC.
And definitely have appreciated the partnership that the college has had with the radio station and just with Peralta TV and everything. So definitely it is a resource. And I want to assure you that my 12 followers on YouTube will be dialed in as well.
You might have
13.
Yeah.
13. All right. Okay. All right. Ooh, what is that? Like an 8% growth in 5 minutes? I'll take it. Yeah. Excellent.
Can I just chime in here for
Please.
a second? Just a full circle. You started us off talking about the holidays, and this is why I feel like our partnership, or why I'm so invested in helping you all in whatever way I can to get the club started, is because people use substances because they've gone through hard things, right? It's not because there's something wrong with them. It's because they have gone through some really hard things, and maybe going through those hard things with substances makes it a little bit easier, right? But then it backfires. And so I just think it's really, what you're doing is so fundamentally important, and it fills such a gap in what services and supports we have to offer students. I'm grateful for your leadership and initiative to make this like fun, like have a fun space for people to come to, but also a supportive space, and allow people the chance to connect and support each other. So thank you for doing that, especially at this time of the year. I think it is even harder for a lot of people going through hard times.
Jesse, I'll go ahead and ask the question straight away. Maybe some of our listeners, you've walked in their shoes. Maybe they're just coming out of the justice system and, maybe starting to go to college again, or starting a job, or doing things like that. Just having the incredible experience you have, what advice do you give them, or would you give them?
Well, I know what addiction looks like, and I know what rock bottom looks like. It's a very dark place. It's not a happy place, but a lot of us get stuck in addiction because sometimes there's mental health issues, and we don't know how to deal with that. And sometimes we, instead of asking for help, the quickest way is just to do drugs and self-medicate. And sometimes there's a lot of trauma involved. So the easiest thing, I know that in my case in the past was just to get high and just to make the pain go away, it hurt, but because I didn't ask for help. But I think that if the students ask for help and we can provide help, I think that they can get well. But I think that we need to do our part and offer that assistance to them and resources.
Okay, I'm actually going to open this question to the room, and I'm going to draw a parallel to when I was learning another language. I remember one of the milestones I hit, and if anybody else speaks a second or third language, maybe you can identify this, but I remember that when I started dreaming in the other language, that I had kind of made it, that I'd had this milestone. When it comes to mental health and recovery and things like that, what are some milestones that often are shared with people to tell them, if you reach this point, that's a milestone?
Of course, it's different for everybody because, but I think what we're dealing with when we're trying to help people recover from whatever mental health challenges their experiences, we're trying to help them recover from traumatic events. And I think the milestone for me, and often with the students that I work with, is if they can look at those past memories. You correct me I would be curious to hear what you guys say too. If you can look at those past experiences and not feel the same level of pain, right? So if you've gone through something hard, it's really painful to keep being reminded of the bad things that may have happened to you in the past. That's maybe why people go to substances or avoid or throw themselves into work or whatever the things are that we do. I think the milestone I know that people are doing better is if they can actually look at those past memories, and those past memories are in the past. They don't feel like they're so present right now. They're not as easily triggered.
Anybody else in the room want to just share, maybe in your own experience, personal milestones that you've hit?
I think for me, it's just getting into recovery and building things around that recovery. For me, it was like having a good support system with my family, having a sponsor, having someone to listen to me, because it's not just about you wanting just to say anything to anybody. You got to find safe people to talk to, because not all people are safe. And having a space to talk about it as well. You can't just, I wouldn't just talk to anybody just anywhere. I needed to be somewhere where it was safe. And where he's at, I feel like that's a safe area for me.
Going to restoring our communities, yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Wow, so you almost, you talk about that decision almost like it was a destination, it seems like.
Yes.
Hearing that. Now, I know when I asked the question, Danielle perked up a little bit, so I'll go ahead and turn your way.
Only because I had a very fun situation yesterday where I actually finally decided to turn in my passport, right? So I'm at the post office. This lady, she is very interesting. She wasn't the nicest. Everyone in line's complaining. The line gets long, and she's just super rude. And normally, I mean, when I see someone getting treated bad, I will say something, and not always in a great way. Sometimes it's reactive. But to be there for over 45 minutes and just calmly tell her, like, hey, maybe I'm really appreciative of your support with everyone, but maybe next time just consider how you're making people feel, you know? Like, have you ever thought, is something going on? She's like, you know what, honestly, I'm just hungry, and I haven't taken a break today. I said, it shows. So just be more mindful, whereas, you know, before in my younger days, it may not have been a sweet conversation, so I'm sorry that I talked with my friend. I'm like, wow, that's really growth. That's a big part of growth for me, and I attest that to working in, you know, the wellness center and around people who are thinking about progressiveness and how do you improve as a person. And I think about things that I've done or reactions that I've had daily. You know, that was something I never thought about. I didn't think about how I reacted or what I said, but now I'm just more mindful.
That must have felt really good.
It felt great. Yeah. And I'm like, I got everything done. I didn't have a heart attack or stress. You know, I was fine. I like walked away and kind of dissociated my emotions from that.
Alissa, how about you? Could you maybe talk about maybe whether things you've experienced yourself or things you would tell people about milestones?
Well, I'd say a milestone of mine is communicating with my professors. In the past, it was a bit difficult for me to go and ask a question or ask to better explain something so that I can fully understand the concept being taught. And I think a milestone now is there's less stress and worriness about going up to a professor and asking, hey, can I get a little bit of extra help with this? Or could you re-explain this? And asking, maybe getting some advice as well.
Oh, certainly. No, I actually want to put the same question to Randi, but I know she has something important to say.
Yes, I just want to remind everyone that you're listening to the President's Desk on 96.9 FM KGPC, and visit us at kgpc969.org.
Just with your experience working in the Wellness Center, what are some things you've noticed where maybe you're like, oh, this milestone conversation, I see this here?
I feel like it's like Danielle said, kind of the patience thing and maybe saying things different. I had a moment kind of like that too, where I was in line for something and a young lady got skipped who was next to me. And I spoke up because she wasn't going to say anything. I spoke up to the person that skipped her, and I was like, "Oh, I think she was next." And they were like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't see her there." And so, yeah,
Okay.
stuff like that. Just being more understanding.
All right. So, Alissa, Jesse, if I'm a student, I'm listening, I want to join the club, where do I reach out? How do I get in touch?
You could just come to the Rock office and
Okay.
room.
He's the man. He's the man.
Okay.
He's the president. Yeah,
So,
with any student on campus, we're going to start advertising. We're going to have our first group tomorrow.
Okay.
12 to 1 in E205. E205.
So the meetings will they typically be on Thursdays moving forward from 12 to 1?
Yes.
Okay. And just for our listeners, where is the Restoring Our Communities office located?
2 doors down at E203.
You know, it seems like Upper E is where the action is. I mean, we actually did our live broadcast, our on location broadcast there last week, which is great. Excellent. All right. Well, excuse me.
What do you guys have for the next half of the year? We have a new year coming up, and that's a time where people kind of have a resolve to make resolutions and make new plans, particularly for the future. What's going to happen?
Yeah, we're in the planning stage. We're not going to do anything this semester because it's kind of too late to do it. But we're going to start planning for next semester. We already kind of have some ideas of things we might do, maybe a movie or something, or a movie night, or we've been throwing around a few ideas, but we don't know yet. But yeah, we're going to start planning now so we can hit the ground running when 2024 hits.
Excellent. What about students that are currently either in jail or in prison right now? What are some things that Rock is doing? I know there's some exciting things happening.
Yes, we are going into Alameda County Juvenile Justice Center, Juvenile Hall. In fact, I'm teaching there tomorrow.
What are you teaching?
We have AFRAM 2, Black Economics, and it's a class I've always wanted to teach, so
Good for
now
you.
I get the opportunity to present, because Jimmy Crittison is the professor, but he's out tomorrow. So, but yeah, on Thursdays, 8:30 to 10, we have that class. Last spring we had AFRAM 11, Perceptions of Black Males. So yeah, it's been really cool working with the youth in there, and some of them are doing really wonderful.
I got to ask this question because I'm curious. Maybe some people are listening today that are interested in helping, whether students or people that have been, that are transitioning or are currently incarcerated. What is the best thing to do in terms of training or preparation? What's a good step one?
Training and preparation for what?
Just to provide support in much the way you do.
The way I do, a lot of mine is lived experience as being a formerly incarcerated student. So I kind of brought to Rock what I felt I needed that I didn't get when I came back to school as a student. So, yeah, lived experience. If you're a person that's been incarcerated before and you've been a student, and that part is really important, that you've been a student, that you know how to navigate campus solutions and you know where to find financial aid, and then you can pass that on to other students. I believe the students that we have, as they stick and stay and they become professionals like in how to do this stuff. So we're looking to hire some of our students as well to help.
Well, you certainly are a leader of sorts on our campus. What if someone came and talked to you about leadership and what it means to you? What would you tell them?
I would tell them the way I lead by example. So I wouldn't have someone do something that I wouldn't do. It's always been my style. I've recently learned how to back up because I would just do it all if everyone will let me, and that's not cool either. So, yeah, I lead by example. I feel I can, rather than tell you how to do it, I can show you how to do it. So that's my style of leadership.
In other words, I'd rather see an example than hear it.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah.
There you go. Danielle, how about you? Taking leadership, what would you tell people about that? What it means to you?
I think with leadership, it is a journey in which you have to be willing to learn. Just as much as you lead, follow. Just as much as you lead, take a step back, assess the situation. Be very subjective, because you're going to deal with so many different people. So being flexible is something I think is really important in leadership. Understanding and simply being able to identify the weaknesses and the strengths and where to put people and where to put yourself at. Sometimes it's best that I'm not on front, right? Take a step back, just as Vince said, and just see where things can go, but always being there for support.
But over the past year since I've gotten to know you, and actually the first time I met you was also the first time Randi co-hosted on the show.
Yes.
I've noticed, though, you've become more front and center when it comes to the campus. I see you up front talking to people, leading a little bit. Is there anything that's tipped it for you where you find yourself more comfortable?
Yeah, Susan Yee.
All right.
No, she's just, I think, just been supportive, I know I have it in me. I've always been a leader in situations, and I actually never wanted to be, right? So now I'm in a situation where it's like, okay, I have no choice. And I'm not really afraid to speak up anymore, right? And I don't know that I was afraid, but I couldn't identify what was going on. So just having more confidence in myself, and as Susan always says, don't try to perfect it, right? Stop focusing on being perfect and being right. This is the journey. So I listen to that a lot, and that's helped me. And yeah, people trust me. I mean, the interview process was to make a day of a conference, a wellness conference, and I'm like, what? I've never done that in an interview. And as a person who has once hired people, I'm like, wow, this is really interesting. So even having that approach from the very beginning of my experience at Laney has definitely helped me. But having those people.
Yeah. And I've found sometimes when you do new things, kind of the first person through the door gets criticized a little more than everybody else. And I've definitely learned that. But what I've also found is that if you can understand that that's part of the deal,
right,
it's okay.
Yeah.
And you can live with it. Now, you mentioned Susan Yee as part of what leadership means to you. A perfect segue. Susan, how about you? Definitely, just in your role, there have been a number of times, and I won't get into details, where you've stepped up and provided some leadership to things going on our campus. And I appreciate you as a campus leader. So leadership to you, what does it mean?
Thank you, and thank you, Danielle.
You're going to be feeling really good about
We're
yourself today.
Yeah. I was just talking to Jesse about this. I think that it's about leading by example, not being perfect, and in that vein, being willing to have the awkward conversation, to be awkward, to be okay with like messing up and just asking like, what? Okay, am I doing this? Are you doing this? Who's doing this? I don't really want to, being honest and being awkward, and helping all of us get through those hard moments.
I remember
feedback.
I remember the expression, that's why pencils all have erasers on them. Yeah, it's kind of a thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
So before we kind of close the book today, Jesse and Alissa, I want to come back to you. Just any final parting thoughts from both of you. But before asking you that, I just want to say congratulations to both of you just for stepping up and being part of this We Will Rise effort on campus. And just congratulations to both of you on your amazing journey. So Alissa, I'll start with you. Just any parting thoughts today, things you'd like our listeners to know.
Right. So the invitation is open for anybody. If you want to come in and learn about it, maybe you also know about or have a family member or a friend or know somebody that is suffering or going through something difficult, that come on in and hear about it. Maybe you can we're open to hearing different experiences, and then also, hopefully that you're able to take something away from it. And I think that as individuals in society, it's really important to also hear different perspectives so that they can also broaden and help you form your worldview.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Jesse, how about you?
The We Will Rise it's not just for students that have substance abuse issues. It's also for students that are having any kind of challenges that could lead to substance abuse issues. And we want them to know that we want to have a space for them and that they can come over and talk about whatever issues they're going through, and we're going to help them get through it. And that we got their back.
All right. Great. Well, thank you for that. And Vince, thank you for joining us today and providing the information about ROC. Susan, real quick, if our listeners want to get in touch, reach out to you as the mental health specialist or to the Wellness Center. Could you just share the contact info real quick?
Yep. 510-464-3332 is the main line, and we are on the second floor. Say it one more time. 510-464-3332. And we're on the second floor between the two elevators.
All right.
Of the tower.
So let's see. Danielle and Susan will have to get you the 3-time President's Desk T-shirt guest designation. Vince, I think now you get a pin for 2 times. And of course, Randi's been telling me she should get a car because she's been on like 50 times now. But so anyway, just a great conversation today, and certainly appreciate it. And as we wrap up another edition of the President's Desk, we want to thank our Peralta TV audience as well as listeners up and down the great state of California, from as far north in the 717 and the 530, extending all the way out to our capital in the 916, and then all the way down to SoCal in the 619, as well as our listeners right here in the 510, tuning in from Lake Merritt, Oakland, Chinatown, downtown Oakland, West Oakland, East Lake, Fruitvale, Diamond, North Oakland, Adams Point, Central Oakland, East Oakland, the Oakland Hills, Montclair, Piedmont, and of course, those right here at the Laney campus listening to us today. As we close up shop at the President's Desk, straighten the chairs, and turn the desk light off on today's program, Felicia, great job with all these guests, but please take us home. And Randi, great job too.
Certainly, Rudy. I would like to give a shout out to the Laney College Wellness Center and also to ROC. Good job, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the President's Desk, a program available on radio, television, and podcast, hosted by Laney College President Dr. Rudy Besikof. It airs each Wednesday at 2 a.m. and 2 p.m. on 96.9 KGPC. And viewers can watch the show in its entirety on Peralta TV Sundays at 1 to 2 p.m. To listen anytime, find us on kgpc969.org/current shows and click on the President's Desk, or find the show directly at www.kgpc969.org/the President's Desk. Also, to stream video of the show anytime, go to youtube.com and subscribe to Laney College President's Desk. If you have a suggestion for a future show, please email us at laneypio@peralta.edu.